The sound of determination, rubbing shoulders with China's massive manufacturers who have flooded the Ghanaian market with metal security doors. Factory, nothing more than a makeshift wooden structure by the street side. Machinery, virtually none. Funding, that's the story for another day. But Nana Yaw Domenah is undaunted. From the margins, he is nibbling away a small portion of the Chinese-dominated metal security door market in Ghana. He may not have the best of finishing, but Nana Yaw believes his doors are more durable. The more you invest in me, he says, the more I invest in technology and machinery, and the better the final product becomes.
It's almost 10 years now that I began fabricating the metal security doors in Ghana. Our main competitors have been the foreign metal security doors. As in, we have the Turkish door, the Chinese door, the other foreign countries. They also have their doors within the country. So I have just decided to fabricate locally with the same metal. It has not been easy for us because they have a lot of varieties in the market, and there are so many in the market. So a lot of people are also aware of the publicity is also high. So a lot of people are aware of their product. So it's very, very difficult in the market. But thankfully to God, I think what we are also creating or fabricating, because it's of high standard to DS, as in compared to the metal thickness. It has not been easy, but we are still improving on whatever that we do. They have a little bit of their finishing is more nicer than what we do, because I think they have a lot of machines and equipment for it. Ours has been more of artwork, handiwork. So we have to cut the metal, twist the metal, bend the metal, grind, and at the same time when you finish you need to apply filler for the finishing. So based on all these things, it has not given us the exact finishing that we want to be able to compete highly with them, because most of our individuals also look at the finishing, because they will say, oh, I have built a very nice mansion and I cannot buy this local fabricated door which is not nice as the foreign type. So it's a serious competition for us, but we are working on it. We are working on to improve our standard and finishing.
Africa has a huge consumer market, which is however serviced by manufacturers from anywhere but Africa. The model of trade liberalization sold to Africa said Africa should open its market in an unbridled fashion and allow the influx of goods from the West and from China. That way, they said, Africa's own baby industries would become competitive. The result has however been disastrous for African manufacturing. Its textile industry, for example, has virtually collapsed, and the massive building and construction industry relies heavily on imports to survive. Without the kind of rebates and even downright protectionist policies developed nations often adopt, African manufacturers like Nana Yaw have only remained on the fringes, scrounging over crumbs. An African Continental Free Trade Agreement was signed in March 2018, and trading was supposed to start this July. The agreement seeks to remove barriers to trade within the continent and ensure the free movement of goods and services among all 55 member states of the African Union. If it succeeds, perhaps people like Nana Yaw can have access to markets outside their own countries and begin to create giant African manufacturers. But will those who benefit from Africa's weak manufacturing base allow it?
I think our main challenge has been machines, because what we are doing is machinery work. But because we don't have machines, we use our hands and the basic machine tools that we have, as in the grinding machine, drilling machine. What we normally do, maybe there are machines for it, especially when it comes to the designs. They have pressing machines, they have cutting machines, they have bending machines, and so on and so forth. They have 90 degrees bending machines that we don't have. All those machines are hydraulic. and they are of high price. So even if you want to buy those machines, it's of high price. You need a lot of money before you can enter into those machines. So it's a challenge for us, but we are always working hard to also be in the market and improve on whatever that we do to get the finishing. Some are expensive and some too are not expensive. I think we fall within. They have ones that are more expensive than what we have, especially they can have some around 10,000 Ghana cedis, sometimes 12,000 Ghana cedis, and even going up. But ours is not up to that standard. It's very low. It's not even up to, let's say, 20% of their prices for normal, let's say, back door, kitchen back door, and we have 1.5, as in 4 feet door. Then we have double door, which is 5 feet or 6 feet double door. We have the single door, which is 3 feet by 7. We have the 1.5, which is 4 feet by 7, and we have the double door, which is 5 feet by 7 or 6 feet by 7. And at the same time, we can measure your entrance. So based on your entrance, we can fabricate to suit any measurement that you have. So when you come to what we do, when we produce single door, which is 3 feet by 7 feet, our price is 1,800. That is what we quote. But normally when they come, they say, oh, reduce. By the time you realize, I come to 1,500, 1,600. And when you look at the cost of production, if you want to apply the laws of costing, you realize that we are not in business because of the materials that we are using. So it's very, very difficult to even save some and try to buy some machines because the cost is too high. You are not making better returns for yourself. Then we have the 1.5, which is 4 feet by 7. We quote 3,000 Ghana cedis. At the end of the day, you have it, people buying it around 2,500. Even today, as I'm standing here, I've taken somebody 2,350 Ghana cedis, which I don't think is good. But we need to stay in business. I need to eat. I need to pay my workers. I need to pay people working for me. So I still need to take the money and make sure I work with it and have something small to pay my workers. Then we have the double door, which is 5 feet or 6 feet double door. We normally price the same. And the double door is 3,500. That one is the same. By the time you finish, it has come down. We normally don't get the 3,000, the first price. We normally don't get. Sometimes even somebody is even ordering for more. Sometimes even come down. I did a single door, about 35 single door for someone at 1,200 Ghana cedis. When you look at the cost, you will finish this 35 door, your profit margin has reduced totally. So you are not getting much. But because we need to stay in business, we need to take them sometimes. So it is not really helping us, but we need to stay in business and pay our workers. The cost of production is very high because I use a particular pipe, and the pipe that I use for the construction of the door, the pipe alone is 200 Ghana cedis. If we have the push or the equipment and facilities to work, I think we can produce on a high sale. Then we can also export to other African markets. I think it will help. It will be of very good benefit to us because whatever that we are dealing in, we need more markets. We need to be able to push hard and produce many. When you produce many, you also increase sales, and when you increase sales, it will also boost or increase your returns. So when we have different markets, as in not in Ghana and extending to other countries, it will give you a lot of bigger markets. And with that, you also benefit. So if let's say the tariffs are also low, it's going to help us. It's going to help us to penetrate into other markets and boost our sales. The production capacity is not bad, even though we don't really use machines. It's not bad. I think we can produce 100 doors in a month. It's seriously capital intensive because of the machines. The hydraulic machines are very, very expensive, and as I said earlier on, you need about 3 before you can start. And those 3, one of them, let me say, one of them could be around 200 and 250,000 Ghana cedis. One, and you need 3 to start. So it means that you are getting around 800,000 Ghana cedis. So it's a little bit difficult. So sometimes some of us will say, how am I going to save till I get to 800,000 Ghana cedis before I can expand the business. Yes, I started with some loans. I started with some loans, with some of these loans, financial institutions. I realized that it was very, very difficult because of their percentage.
That you're talking about interest rate.
Normally being finance, it's always finance, because what we are doing, as I said, capital intensive, we need finance. So even if governments want to support us, they need to, first of all, they need to identify us. They know what kind of venture we are in. Then they will also determine on, based on their budget, they also determine on how to support us. But I think if they support us, we can also produce to help the local market. And also, for me, I think imports it's not really bad like that, but too much import affects the economy. The reason is that every country depends on the other, so we depend on each other. It's a global world. But when you import too much, you put pressure on your currency, because when you are going to import from someone's country, it means that you are dealing with somebody's currency. So you need to change your currency into that person's currency before you can import from that person's country. Therefore, it puts pressure on your currency. So importing much, everything importing will affect your currency. So always you have issues with your currency. But if you really want to make your currency also strong or stable, then I think you should look into producing. So when it comes to the fabricators within the country, that we also put some of us and reduce the importation, it will also have good benefits on the currency, which will also help us. Not just the currency, it will create jobs. You always say unemployment, we lack jobs. How are we going to create jobs if we don't support local industry? I think if government support the local industry, push them, support them as in finance, trying to help them to expand their company, employ a lot of people, it will reduce unemployment. There are a lot of polytechnics that have graduated but don't have anywhere to go. A company like mine, if let's say we expand it and have a very big warehouse producing, we can employ some of the polytechnics that have gone into engineering.